upload and a review of what real alpha males are capable of. And in today's video, we're going to talk about alpha males working for the United States government in charge of rigging well over almost close to $2 million worth of equipment from a truck to the ground, and then harness and strap and rig it, and then pick it up approximately somewhere between 75 and 85 feet up into a radar tower. None of you, I'm absolutely sure, none of you have ever done anything like that before. So we have the actual transformers, the air handlers, the computer components, the replacements for the radar tower equipment, and located at BOCA Chica Naval Air Force Base in the Florida Keys. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually review a video I found in one of my drives. I couldn't find it for a long time, but I found it this morning at about 5 o'clock. So there's different segments, and in the different segments of the video, I have timestamps that I'm going to put down in the comments where you can click on the numbers that correlate to the timestamps. So if I say those are the transformers, two of several, I don't remember how many there were, or the air handler, or whatever equipment I was rigging to bring up to the tower. That was one of my jobs on that job. The other job was to excavate about a half a mile of ground, hard pack, and in some places coral, where we were going to install new ground wires, GROND, ground wires, for all the equipment related to the radar tower, the radar computer room, and the radar equipment. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to turn this, I want to turn this, I want to get rid of this nonsense here. I want to open up a new window, and then I want to go to my videos. I want to make sure I'm actually live. Yes, I am live. Okay. So let me go to my videos, and I need to copy those links down. There's about 12 links, 12 timestamps. I want to get that set up so that if you don't want to watch the whole video, you'll be able to go to the timestamps for yourself. So the first thing I want to do is go to my live video post feed. Then I want to put this on here and make that public so I can see it. There's a lot of work to do in live streams when you're not just yelling into the phone. There's a lot of work that goes behind posting videos, live streams, information type things. You have to tag stuff. You have to, sometimes you have to copy links, post links, give timestamps, give information like instructional stuff. All these people that just yell into the phone, that's not blogging. We're walking, and over there is the Eiffel Tower. That's not a blog. Show us the inside of the Eiffel Tower. Go up into the room that's at the top of the Eiffel Tower. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually copying the timestamps and the description that I have for this video here. Alpha male. So this is part of that you have to do. You have to make a video, tag it, title it, and put tags in the description box. Then this description box is quite descriptive because I did, there's quite a few things that are in this video, including my equipment, my truck, the use of many other types of equipment that I needed to offload the equipment itself from trucks that came in with approximately $2 million worth of equipment, and I was responsible to pick it up on the pallets and bring it to the job, which was sometimes several hundred feet from the roadway. There's a road that leads right up to the radar tower and the computer room, of course, but you still had to bring the equipment to the radar tower, and there's no road to the tower directly. Maybe now there is, but back then there's no like roadway to where the lift on the tower is. So let's get that copied. Then I'll get back to my live stream. No, then we're going to open that up as a video. We're going to open that up as a video. And then we're going to work from this video, but this is not going to be all of what's in this video. The video is about an hour and 2 minutes. What I'll do for your benefit is I'll leave these two links at the bottom so that no, I won't do that one. Title, Driving Michael's Home Book. Yes, that one. That is this one. So we're watching this one. And then I'm going to take the links out. You'll watch the video in its entirety when the time comes. So I'm going to make that as a comment. Then I'll show you how to use the timestamps in the comments. I'm going to pin this to the top to make it easy for you. So this is the kind of thing that I do that very few other people, especially in the Philippines vlogging genre, have the capacity to do. Even if they wanted to do it, they can't, because they're just not savvy with how to do this. So let's just go, for instance, one transformer, they were $100,000 for one transformer, or some ridiculous amount of money like that. And this is the transformer here. Let's go here. Now this is a small one, but there was a bank of these, and then there was many more pieces of equipment. And these are my straps and my ropes and my chain. So, but I'm the person that does the rigging. No one else does the rigging. That was part of my contract. And then, so even though this strap here, it looks old and worn, it is. It's probably 10 years old, but that strap will lift up 18,000 pounds. And then the ropes that I had around the outside of it was simply to keep the transformer from tipping over one way or the other. So that's one link. This is 1510. It shows you how high. This is the inside. These things that I'm showing you now are things that you couldn't possibly ever see in your real life unless you had clearance to go into a radar tower on an Air Force base. You cannot get anywhere near this tower. It's fenced off with a special entrance. Nor could you go anywhere near the computer room. So that's the stairs. This is the radar mechanism itself. This part here is, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of volts go into this mechanism. And this is on top of here. There are motors, one here and one here. And these motors are hydraulic, and they turn a big whip around inside the tower. That's the part you see spinning around. So there's hundreds of thousands of volts going to the radar unit itself, and then these hydraulics turn the motor. There's hydraulics and there's electric. So that's another link. And then I'll show you this all to you in a moment. Then here is a mistake here. The air handle is at 21. 2235 is my truck on the job, my backhoe on the job, on-time backhoe, and then I'll back away from there. You'll be able to see I'm in the radar tower. And behind here, I don't even like to think about what's behind this fence. That's where the captain of the Air Force Base lives. And he chewed me out. Oh, God, did he chew me out. He had me standing and he dressed me down in front of the crew. And I was kind of laughing because I never got yelled at by an Air Force captain. And I'll tell you what I did. He came out of the shower with shampoo in his hair and soap on his chest in a pair of shorts and sandals, screaming and yelling. It looked like a movie. It was July 3rd of whatever year that was. And the Blue Angels fly over all of South Florida, Miami, Dade County. And they were all, you're going to see the Blue Angels practicing on my video because I had access. On today's video, you can see the Blue Angels on the ground, but there were also acrobatics. And that was going on for a show that was happening on the Air Force Base itself. Custom dignitaries only, like newspapers and things like that. And I don't remember what time it was. It was morning, about 8 o'clock. And I hear screaming and yelling. I was in the backhoe. And I don't know what's going on. And he's yelling and screaming at somebody. And they're gathering up my boss and some of the men on the job. And I knew what he was screaming and yelling about. Well, I had a good idea. I ripped all the water pipes that go into his house out of the ground because it wasn't marked. It's supposed to be marked. Not my fault, but he didn't want to hear that. He had shampoo. It looked like a movie. He had shampoo in his hair and soap on his upper chest and shoulders. This is the captain of the Air Force Base, and he is preparing to go to the ceremony to launch the Blue Angels so they can do their air show in Miami, and he's got no running water. As soon as I ripped that pipe out of the ground, I knew I ripped the pipe out of the ground. I just didn't know it went to the captain of the Boca Chica Naval Air Force Station's house itself. So they came running. This is a big area. Don't make a mistake about this. This is a huge acres of land. They came running around the fence, screaming at me with their arms waving. I've seen this before many times. Every time I rip a pipe out of the ground, somebody is going to start screaming. But if it's not marked, it's not my fault. So, and he comes with them and he starts, who is responsible for digging? Now I'm sitting in the machine. That's me. So I went down and I stood in front of him because that's the most powerful person in South Florida at that moment. And he's going, don't you know? Don't you understand that there's, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I made a mistake. What am I supposed to do? I'm not going to blame it on my boss, but my boss knows he was supposed to mark those water pipes, not me. I am the excavation contractor. I work for X company and X companies. They, in the contract, it's their job to mark electric, water, and telecommunications lines. When they tell me to dig, I dig. If I'm responsible, but I can't be because it's a United States military base, but in real life, I have to call up 1-800-SUNSHINE. And 1-800-SUNSHINE comes to the job, and they are a state-affiliated agency, and they mark water, telecommunications, and electric cables under the ground, especially fiber optics. But on the Air Force base, they don't have those specs. So my boss didn't mark where his water pipe was. So I let him yell at me for about 5 minutes, and then he had to go somewhere else to finish taking a shower. Here's the captain of the base. He came out with the soap on his head and shoulders just to show me how upset he was. We had a laugh after that. Of course, not in front of him. So my foreman, the man in charge of the job, he said to me, all right, let's get this fixed. So I dug around it, and we jumped into the hole, and I don't know how, we had enough stuff to fix it because I brought with me boxes of every size PVC fitting. I brought glue, cutters. I didn't know what I was going to break, but I knew I'm going to break something because I break something every time I dig. Every time I dig, something comes up with the bucket that's not supposed to be there. So we fixed it, but apparently he went someplace else, and then you heard the music for him being on the podium and introducing the Blue Angels to the news and the press. That was, I'll never forget that. That was one of the funniest things I ever seen in my life. He didn't look like much of an Air Force captain standing there in a pair of shorts and sandals with soap all over his head and shoulders. I still laugh about that. I'm sure that all of us still laugh about that. All right, so let's turn this around. That had to be one of the funniest things I ever seen. The most powerful man in South Florida dressing me down in front of, well, there were a lot of people at this point. He had called up, because the backhoe was hundreds of feet from his house, and the pipe was hundreds of feet from the house. So let's go here. Let's get this. We have to go open this up. Let's get this one moved over to the right-hand side. So those are the Dennis Divine Line. I always enjoy your videos. The trolls can eat the alpha male American dust. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So let's go back to my video, and now I'll finish with the timestamps. So that was the tower radar that I just showed you. This is the trenches. This is just one. It was 20 2,500 feet of trenches, 2,500 feet. That's what I bid on. And that's about what it was. So we left the price at $93,000. So the this is just one. Every fence had I get a 5/8, I think it was 5/8 copper, bronze cable, and CAD welded to a post on the fence every 10 feet for lightning strikes. So that would be that. And then now I'm going to show you something that now I had to have a special clearance to even walk into this building here. This is a computer room for all of South Florida. All the radar towers on the Boca Naval Air Force Base, there's 2 towers. This is the main computer bank. I think the fellow said it would cost about $20 million to build it, to build the building, the radar tower, and the cables, and the electric, and all that other good stuff. So I'll give you a brief run-in. I got to actually, I had to move around in here because I had excavation that had to go on in the back of the building to put ground cables. Then my ground cables trenches led eventually to these computer banks. So I got to actually enjoy the inside of this room where it was air conditioned, because the fella that ran this operation, he played chess, and he had a chessboard set up in there, and he had a computer chess game. And I was pretty good with chess at the time, and him and I got to talking about playing chess, and we ended up playing chess whenever I had nothing to do. Whenever they didn't have something for me to do, I would play chess with this fella, and he would explain all of this stuff to me. And here I am sitting at the radar. That is the radar for the lower portion of Florida, from Miami all the way down to Key West. So those of you who say, "Oh, he doesn't have a license to do this. He never was a licensed excavation contractor." Don C. I even and Chubba Wubba. This is the licenses that I don't have that allows me to go into the places that only special clearance can get you in to begin with. And that's me. I'm in charge right now. I am in charge of this screen. I can make the screen go brighter, and I can make the screen go lower. And I actually do that in the video. Watch, I'll show you. I am in control of the Boca Naval Air Force Station computer radar for a 250-mile radius. That's what it was set on. And here I am. I'm fading it in. Watch me fade it in and fade it out. I am in control, like on the Twilight Zone. And now we return you to your television set. I had such a goof. I had such a trip. So basically, I was in control of the Boca Naval Air Force Station's radar for a couple of minutes. But how many of you people can pull an alpha male movement like that? Not only that, but we were about even in chess. So we were kind of like enjoying each other's company whenever we had the chance. But you are not allowed. Nobody that I worked with ever went into that building, ever. Nobody that, no military personnel. The only people allowed in that building were the 2 technicians that operated the equipment. There were 12-hour shifts. And those were and myself. Those were the only two people, three of us, the only three of us that ever went into that building. You were not allowed in that building. So I had, not only did I have clearance to work on the base, but I had to go through, I think it was NCIC background check, that I wasn't affiliated with any organizations that might want to do harm to the base. So you guys, you think you're alpha males? I think beta or Charlie, maximum beta, most likely Charlie or deltas, but never alpha males. I don't see any on YouTube's Philippine genre. So let's go back over here, and I'll go through the video shortly. Right now, I'm going to start the video at the 15-minute mark. So you guys that think you're alpha males, you're really not. Now, until you can claim that you have $1 million insurance, a $2 million bond, special government clearance to go into a communications pod or whatever they call it, building for the Air Force, you can't call yourself alpha males. I am an alpha male. You guys, at best, beta, probably Charlie, a lot of delta males here, that's for sure. So let's move back to the video, and here we are. So this is my backyard in the Florida Keys. No, that's not the video. That's not the video, Michael. This is the video. So this is my backyard. That's my front yard in the Florida Keys. So you guys, oh, he lives in a shack. Yeah, but I also lived in a house that you guys couldn't even dream of owning, ever. Your best dream, your cream puff dreams wouldn't ever allow you to live in a house that I lived in the Florida Keys. So this is my backyard. This is my 11-foot dinghy. This is one of my cars. It was my dad's car. This is a 23-foot Anna Capri boat over here. This is a 23-foot center console with a 225-horse Merc on it, Mercury engine. This is my little CHICKA hut. This is my rock garden. Let's go forward a little bit. This is my 1976 Ford F-150 van that I put 200,000 miles on after I paid $300 for that van. So I paid $300 for a van, and I used it from 1979. No, 1981 or 82. All the way through. When I bought this van, it was pretty much new, but it was laying in a lot for 2 years, and it had weeds and trees growing right up through it. It was a 76 van, but the guy who owned it, he got sick and he never used the van. So I bought it for $300. It was worth a lot more. And then I took it across country twice. So that van is the story. Now here, this is a classic. This is a Ford F-250. This is a 1970. And in here, it had a 350 cubic inch, 8-cylinder, 350 horsepower engine. This old truck with those tires would turn 14 seconds on the street, on the quarter mile. So inside here, this was what we call a sleeper. And that was another vehicle that I had. And this is the container. This is the container that I stored my equipment in for my backhoe, my bobcat, the drill rigs, the trenching machines. Inside here was just stored equipment plus underground plumbing stuff, like every size plumbing fitting from 1/2 inch to 2 inch, every size valve, every size coupling, and every size patch for every size pipe, and then one piece of pipe for every size. Because never did I go to a job and do a big job, without ripping something out of the ground. And a lot of times it's late at night or Sunday. I would just come to my storage container and go get what I needed as far as equipment. So let's go forward a little bit. This is the front of my house. The property was 11,000 square feet. And then outside the driveway was an acre of land, just an open center land, just open. Next door was one of the most expensive houses in Fla.Keys. That's a truck that I had. That's a 1988 Sierra 3500 with a 6-cylinder diesel with 200,000 miles on it that ran like a clock. This is the side of the house. That's the back. That's the neighbor's house. That's the front of the house. That was a jacuzzi I had on the property. And let's see that. I don't know what that is. That looks like junk. I'm not real sure what that was. Those are some ropes that I use for landscaping jobs. Some landscaping walk pads. What is that? That's my underground electric for the docks. I did that myself. I ran $10,000 worth of electric all around the property for lighting and power to the docks, 220, 110 power, and that was the main junction box. Okay, now this is the back. This is where I built quite an extensive CHICKA hut. These are the fittings that I told you I brought to the BOCA Naval Air Force Station. This is just stock. This is not for the job. This is just stock. I'd go and buy every size, a dozen or 2 dozen of whatever I needed. And now I'm laying out boxes. And we'll skip ahead to the BOCA Naval. That's a street saw. It's a 14-inch street saw. This is some tools that I had in my shed. And these in here are electrical everything. Switch plates, covers, boxes. Then in here are nuts, bolts, washers, turnbuckles, waxes, greases, stuff like that. Parts for gloves, end caps for piping. This is a 1-inch air hammer to take truck tires or backhoe lug nuts off. You need 180 pounds of pressure just to get that thing started. Goggles, O-rings, bits, tap cons, stuff like that, drills, nails. This is alpha male stuff, by the way. That's a boat I worked on. That's the Hannah Catherine or the Catherine Marie. I don't remember what name was on that boat at the time. That's the guy, one of the captains I worked for. That's Zeus. That's a 1,200-pound statue. Let's see. That's my anvil. That's the front of my ocean racer. Alpha male boat right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's an alpha male boat. That boat uses 365 horse engines, 2 of them, 730 horsepower. And this is before I put the name on the side of the boat, On Time Backhoe. So we're going back into 2002 right now. So that's when I did the job for the BOCA. And this is, let's move forward. Some tools, some more tools, drill bits. Right now, you're looking at, I don't know, $500 worth of drill bits, at least. These bits were $50 a piece. These are 2-foot-long concrete bits. This is a $65 breaker bar. This is a $40 extension with a step down from 1/2 inch to 3/8. This is a $60 ratchet. You beta males, you're not much into that. This is a set of 3/4 inch sockets, 3/4 inch. So the drive for that is 3/4 inch. That's for doing heavy equipment work. And let's see. That's a 3.5 inch socket. That's $185 socket by itself, just the socket, one socket, 185. That's my that's just some miscellaneous stuff that you need for doing just miscellaneous things. Stainless steel, brass, bronze, wing nuts, stuff like that. Plugs, small plugs, brass plugs, stainless steel plugs, things like that. Stuff that you would never need, but for me, I needed stuff like that. That's a drill press. This is an order that I got from my Caterpillar. This is rigging stuff. This is some of the stuff I used at the Boca Chica Naval Air Force Station. It's rigging equipment for chains, cables, slings, things like that. What you're looking at right there is close to $1,000 worth of rigging, because right next to it are cable, steel binder clamps, they call them. They're $100 a piece. There's 4 of those. These shackles are about $25 each. These are $12 each. There's probably $1,000 worth of rigging within one 3-foot section of the shop itself there. And there were binders, and then I had binders, tugger hoists, grinding wheels for different size grinders that I had over the years. That's tie wire for putting rebar together. This is a tie wire. You put tie wire in there and you pull it out when you're doing rebar construction and things like that. I have fans, clamps. Let's see, tape. I always kept every size, every kind of tape in stock. There's masking tape, duct tape, scotch tape, painter's tape, many different types of tape. Clamps, those are clamps. That's a 14-inch throat C-clamp. These are wood clamps. We're going to get to the Boca Chica in a minute. I think here we are right now. Okay, so that's the radar tower. I'm not seeing any comments, so what I'm going to do here, I got to go. I'm not seeing any comments on the screen, just one comment. That's not natural. That's not normal. So I think this is my live stream. Let me make sure. Yeah. See, I was right. Hello, Dennis. Thanks for stopping by. So, thanks much. And, yeah, those comments weren't showing up on my little phone here. Sorry about that, Dennis. So you're at 1048. Oh, you said hello at 1048. Okay. So I didn't miss you. So let's go back to the video at hand here. So now we're at the Boca Chica Naval Air Force Station. That's the tower. To this base here, I think it was, somebody yelled out 75 feet to the base. This is where I made my picks from. There was a winch inside the tower. This is big. This thing is like 60 feet across. It's not like 10 feet, maybe more. I never measured it. And outside this tower here, you weren't supposed to walk around on the outside of the tower, but of course I did in another video. And then I could take a picture of Key West and Miami, if it would have been, well, Key Largo, 100 miles away, you can't see much, but I did walk outside there. Not allowed. And this is one of the pieces of equipment I used to offload the trucks. Whatever came in, it was my job to offload. That job was separate from the people on the base. So my job was excavation, rigging, and taking the loads off the trucks and loading the trucks with the used equipment. So here we are. We're going into the tower in a minute. Loss of human life may result from the service interruption, interferes with air traffic damages. So this was a warning. The facility is used in FAA air traffic control. Loss of human life may result from service interruption. Any person who interferes with an air traffic control or damages, trespasses on the property will be prosecuted under the law. Scott Del Fuego says hello to Dennis. So you would get shot on sight if you went into the computer room that I had access to. You could be shot on sight. I'm not saying that you would be. Now, this is one of the transformers. There were several of these. After we got the old ones out and the new ones in, then we did the air handler and other pieces of equipment that were up there that I have no idea what the names were of the equipment. This is the staircase leading up to the tower. And that's the fella that said it was 75 feet to the base of the tower. And you could see that's quite extensive. So 7 stories. That's a cable, that's called a cable chase, CHASE, cable chase. And they route high power lines, telecommunications inside a metal tray, a cable tray, cable chase. It's a chase if it's vertical, it's a tray if it's horizontal. Another alpha male thing that you guys don't have to worry about because you're never going to be an alpha male. Just remember that. Now, let's get up into the top of the tower. This is the access to around the tower. Now, I didn't make a video of around the tower because the boss, he said, if you want to walk around the tower, you can walk around the tower, but it would be better that you didn't make a video of it because I wasn't certified for walking outside the tower. You had to be certified to walk on that outside ramp. So I did it anyway, and I have some video of it, but I have no idea where that video is. I did it anyway because I was there, and it was there, and the only way to walk around the tower was to go out and walk around the tower. Now here I am outside the tower, but not showing you the ramp. And this is the base. This is just part of the base. This is the Blue Angels right here. This is a Blue Angel practicing for the 4th of July for the 4th of July show that was going to go on in Miami. No, Jay. The tower. You would be fried in. You'd be fried, microwave fried in. I think they said 10 minutes. You'd fall down. If even inside the tower, you weren't allowed outside the tower, in or out of the tower. Where I'm going to show you where I was working. If the tower was operating, you would just, in 10 minutes, you'd fall down and go boom. That would be the end of you. There was a secondary tower on this base that they turned this tower off so that we could do this tower. The secondary tower was about a mile away. And then they used that tower for the radar. With the radar on, it would cook you in, they said 10 minutes. That would be the end of you and anybody upstairs. So now I'm outside the tower. For sure, I'm outside the tower here. That's Key West. And then outside the tower, again, that's the dome of the tower. That's the railing outside the tower. I'm not supposed to be there, so don't say anything. Now, I'm getting ready to make a pick here. And that's the Blue Angels again. And I don't know how many of there was Blue Angel jets, and then there was something I think called the Thunderbirds that do the skydiving with the smoke behind the plane. Well, I got to see the whole show from the tower and from the ground. That was one of the men that installed the the transformers and things like that. That's the thing. That's the microwave. That'll cook you. That's the part where the power goes into this. These are the motors that spin around the radar mechanism. This is the part, whatever that does, that's the spindle part of the tower. And then the electronics come down from a different place. But the major package here, this might be for electronics. I don't remember. That was 20 years ago. But that is the part that gets electrified and turned on when the radar is working. So we could put this on for a minute. And that's the fella that installs the equipment. And let's see what we got here. I think we had no power up there. We had power, 110 volt power, but all the equipment had to be turned off by the one of the men in the crew, and they had to sign it and certify that it was turned off, and then they had to put a lock on the power bank that powered up the antenna, because you wouldn't feel the microwaves until it was too late. And that's a cable tray. That's what holds all the electronics and cabling and telecommunications. That's a cable tray because it's horizontal. Let's move on a little bit. And then that is what the inside, I'm just showing you the inside of the base underneath the dome looks like right now. So this is the base under the dome, and that's the high voltage for this operation. And there we have the part that up on top is spinning around. These are the motors here, and over here are the motors that run the turning mechanism, the radar itself. Here we are. This is part of the base, and this is the runway back here for the Blue Angels, for the jets. Now, at somewhere there's the captain's house, but I can't look at that without laughing. This is the computer room right here. All in here is all the computer cables. Over here was the drop-off point for the truck, for the equipment that I installed, that I rigged to bring up to the tower. That was about 100 feet away from the tower. This is some rigging that I did. I rigged everything. Nobody could touch the rigging except me. Now, they could if I wanted them to, but I wouldn't let them. I do the rigging. I'm the rigger. I do the rigging. You're the worker. You can untie the rigging, but you cannot tie up the rigging, because I'm responsible under my insurance policy for the rigging part of the job. And I don't remember what these transformers cost. More than $100,000. Whatever was inside of there, they were military grade, military this, military that, and they were like $100,000 each. For whatever reason they were that expensive, I have no idea. So this is me, this is my rigging, and this is one of the men picking up. You can see it's my rigging, because look at how neat those knots are. These are neat knots. I'll show you what a neat knot looks like so that you can tell. And you know it's mine because it's got a little orange paint on it. So let's go up. I'll show you. Yeah, FAZIO's a rigger. There's no doubt about that. And that's where I rigged them up down there on the bottom. So this is alpha male stuff. This is the kind of stuff that's going to jam up Don C. and Chubbawubba, because Chubbawubba said that FAZIO has no licenses. Well, how do you think I got on that base? Chubba Wubba. Come on, Chubba Wubba, spill the beans. How do you think I got on the base? Do you think they just said, oh, that guy, he's got a backhoe? Rules and laws are like the rule, don't walk around on the catwalk. They're just suggestions. Rules and laws are only suggestions. I gotta get my face in there. You gotta remember, when you're on a top secret classified operation installing military grade transformers and telecommunication systems, the rules, regulations, and laws are mere suggestions to an alpha male, is what Scott actually just said. So now everybody knew that I walked around on the catwalk, but you don't see me blatantly exposing the catwalk and my catwalking skills. Now, and even more so, on the catwalk, you're supposed to be harnessed up with a safety lines, and I don't wear a harness. I could if I wanted to, but like Scott said, safety harness rules and regulations are mere suggestions to an alpha male. So did I walk around it without a harness? Yes, I did. Does it matter now? No, it does not. 21 years ago. They don't care. They don't care about me. Everybody that did that job has long since retired or moved on to bigger and better things. They don't care about Michael Fazio, what Michael Fazio did 20. Only Chubba Wubba and Don C. care about what Michael Fazio did. But Don C., do you see my point here? That you're a beta or a Charlie or a Delta male, as is Chubba Wubba? Because you don't have anything like this. Well, wait, Don C.'s got a Weber grill, right? I have access to $100 million worth of equipment. I am the person in charge of installing, deinstalling, excavation on a $100 million job site. And Don C. has a Weber grill. He can cook hamburgers, and I can turn the microwave on and cook everybody. I can't. I wouldn't do that, though, but you could. That's why that all had to be done by a special person. I don't remember his name, but he had to do that himself. So let's go back over here. So, yeah, Don C., he's got a Weber grill, and Fazio has a $185,000 backhoe. Yeah, we're about even now, right, Don? Me and you? Charlie Delta male that you are? So, this is the computer room. I'm pretty sure this is the computer room. It's pretty big. I have to see it from outside. No, that's the computer room right there. It's about, I don't know how long it is, 100 feet by 70 feet wide, 60 feet wide. It's pretty wide. It's pretty big. And the computer terminals, as you're going to see, go back 100 feet deep, 8 feet high, and every 4 foot was another rack for the entire inside of the building. Let's go on a little bit. That's the control tower for the base. And we got to remember there's two control towers in Boca Chica Naval Air and 2 radar towers. Ours is shut down so that we could do this work. I was there, I don't know how long I was there, 100 days, about 100 days. I didn't work every day though, but because I would dig for a day and then I would bring equipment up to the tower, and I'd get another truck of equipment, and I'd bring that up to the tower. This is an air handler. This is inside here was a squirrel fan, and this provided airflow in the dome to keep everything cool. The motors, the spinning mechanisms, And we replaced this as well, but I don't have, that's not in this video. So this is just an air hand. We replaced all the equipment that needed to be replaced, whatever that was. Now out here, I also brought in about 3 or 4 tons of galvanized steel that I took off the trucks and winched and then rigged it to bring it up to the top. Because over in this area here, we built a platform from this wall here out here, and from here out to over here somewhere, probably 20 feet out and then 25 feet across. And I don't know what that was for, but we built the platform. I rigged it up to get the equipment there, then I rigged it to slip it over to that side of the tower, and everything was pre-bolted, pre-drilled for the bolting for the parts that we had, and then they drilled holes where they had to drill and bolt into the superstructure. But I don't know what it was. If I knew what it was for, I don't remember. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember every detail, and that's just a prop that they have on the base. Let's go forward a little bit. Okay, and then those are the barracks for the pilots, and that is one of the, I don't know what kind of airplane that is. I have no idea. So that's on-time backhoe, baby. On-time backhoe. The guy who doesn't have Chubba Wubba, the guy who doesn't have any licenses, Chubba Wubba, is on working on a federal job, state government job, operating a heavy equipment on Chubba Wubba. Chubba Wubba. Let's get Chubba Wubba. Let's get Chubba Wubba. Chubba Wubba is the greatest troll on YouTube besides Don C. Neither one of them have any common sense. Neither one of them are ever right about anything. Neither one of them will ever be an alpha male. But Chubba Wubba, he knows everything. He's the king of trolling on YouTube, only to be subservient to Don C. And he's only subservient. Chubba Wubba is only subservient to Don C because Don C has an $800 Weber barbecue grill. Had Don C not had an $800 Weber barbecue grill, Don C would be second to Chubba Wubba trolling. You guys are a trip, man. You guys will have never been alpha males. You don't know nothing about alpha male construction. And you knock me down every time you can because I said that I did jobs on the Boca Chica Naval Air Force Station as an excavation contractor months ago. And then Chubba Wubba comes on, the troll that he is. He never had a license. He doesn't have any licenses. Those were Chubba Wubba's words. Hey, Chubba Wubba, how does that taste, those words, when you regurgitate them? Because you are a fool. You're a fool. At best, you're a fool. At worst, you're Don C's second. That's the best I could give you. Chubba Wubba doesn't even run in the first category. Don C is first, the best troll on YouTube, because Don C, you got to understand, Don C has a Weber barbecue grill, an $800 Weber. Don C has made his mark in life. Let's go back. Chubba Wubba, let me show you the on-time backhoe equipment doing big things. A $93,000 job on a Naval Air Force Station base. Chubba Wubba, show me something you have done, Chubba Wubba. So that's a 428B Caterpillar backhoe with an extender hoe on Boca Chica Naval Air Force Station base. And I am taking video from the radar tower. Chubba Wubba, shout out to Chubba Wubba, the worst troll on YouTube. Of the two biggest trolls, he's the worst troll of YouTube. He's subservient to Don C. Oh, on-time backhoe, no license, no insurance, never had a license, and yet he has his trucks and equipment doing jobs on a military Air Force base. Whoa, Chubba Wubba, how's eating all those words taste? And Don C., we know how that tastes, but you see, Chubba Wubba, Don C. got it all over you because Don C. has a $800 Weber grill. And he can take those words that he's eating now and put them on the grill with a little bit of hickory smoked chips. And his words that he's eating now taste better than your words, Chubba Wubba, because you don't have an $800 Weber grill. So let's go. That on-time backhoe, baby. That's right. Let's move forward a little bit. There we are again, on time. It pays to be on time. So let's go. You guys, how are those words tasting? So here is my rigging. They unrigged it, and now it's going down for another pick. And here we go. We'll drop that down out of sight, out of mind. And then this is where, when you walk out onto the catwalk, you had to have a hard hat on. You had to have rigging gear, and you had to be hooked up. And not only that, on this military base, when you're working on radar towers, you got a double hook. There's no such thing as a single hookup. You hook up with one hook, then you hook again with another hook, and only one hook ever comes off where you're working. And the hooks were big. They had like an 8-inch throat, the hooks. So you can never be unhooked. And if they caught you unhooked, you lost your job. So those were the rules. So this is that's one of the men. Like I said, these are the transformers here that we brought up to the top. There's 2 of them are here. We only had room to bring up 2, install 2, take 2 down, and then bring back the rest of them for installation. We only had room for 2 at a time. The air handle had to be done all separate as well. So that's 2. I think there were 7 transformers. I'm not sure. And then everything had to be... we used these cranes, overhead cranes, to move stuff around. So let's see. Scott says, money changes are paid well, but Jesus abhors them. That's right. That's Don C. He's an IT type of guy and made a lot of money, but has no ability to discern reality. Sorry to hear that. And Chubba Wubba doesn't even run a close second to Don C. Those 2 guys, oh boy, those 2 guys. So here is Key West. This is a marshland. Well, it's not quite Key West. This is a key. The next key up from Key West, and there was a great place to eat on that island. It's the place with the big fish tank. When you walk in, it's like a 500-gallon fish tank. So here is where we were working, and I don't know where we put the platform. It might have been over here. I don't remember all that stuff. It's in another video. Oh yeah. Hey, Chubba Wubba. Hey, Chubba Wubba, get over here for a minute. Come on over here, Chubba Wubba. Come on over here. Chubba Wubba, are you going to run your mouth again that I have no licenses, never had any licenses? Are you going to make yourself look like a bigger fool than I just made you look? Not only the gas station job, I have been building up to a crescendo with doing military-based state, federal jobs. Hey, Chubba Wubba, do you realize how many licenses and insurances I have to do a job like this? Do you have any idea? No, you don't, because you're a Charlie male, a beta. Don C might be a beta male, but probably not. But you can't even you couldn't even you couldn't even shine Don C's shoes when it comes to being a beta male. You're a Charlie. Chubba Wubba. Get it through your head that not only are you a very poor researcher, but you are a liar as well. Because you said that Fazio doesn't have any licenses. He never had any. Dude, I could run them by you right now, but why should I do that? You people at this point have to understand that when I say something is true, it's true. I didn't make a big issue out of working at the Boca Chica Naval Air Force Station as a rigger, excavation contractor, and loading and offloading equipment because I didn't have the video. I don't even know that I had the video or where it was. But now that I found the video, you guys that are eating words big time, all of you that run these silly things on YouTube, Fazio never had a license. He was never a licensed excavator. He never owned equipment. He worked for a plumbing company called On Time Backhoe. You people are beta and Charlie males and jealous of where I lived, what I did, what I've done, and the fact that I am an alpha male, and your station in life will never allow you to be an alpha male. That's the problem. Because you make a lot of money. Let's take Mr. Freedom of Speech. He's a beta male at best, but he also wanted to turn himself into a pincushion to be for Lima Bravos. That's not alpha male stuff. I gotta tell you, Mr. Freedom of Speech, and he's been blocking everybody everywhere he goes at all times. So you people that are friends with Mr. Freedom of Speech, why I don't know. There's some sort of unholy alliance there. But he is never going to be an alpha male. He's got money. That's all he's got. Have you ever seen him do any alpha male stuff? You ever seen him fell some trees? I got video coming up where I cleared 2.5 acres of land by myself. I hired a tree trimming company to come in and chip the trees up. But I cleared several hundred trees as big as 8 feet in diameter by myself. Not with a helper, not with a crew, by myself. And when I would fell enough trees, dig out their root balls, which were 25 feet in diameter and 6 feet thick, the root balls were. Then I would get in there, get involved with the backhoe, ripping the roots apart. That's alpha male stuff. You don't see Mr. Freedom of Speech doing anything alpha male. You don't see Don C doing anything alpha male. You certainly don't see Chubba Wubba doing alpha male stuff. But me, I have the backhoe, and I got a 5-man crew plus the boss, Tim. He brings in an 18-inch wood chipper, and we spend weeks chipping up the trees because the contract called for a clear lot. And we bid on the job. Tim gave me a bid because he couldn't bid the excavation. Again, the guy with the licenses. He couldn't do the excavation, but I could hire him as a tree crew. So Chubba Wubba, you're going to eat some more words. Don C is going to eat some words. He'll put them on the barbecue, throw some hickory chips on there. But either way, you're going to eat words. As Popeye would say, you're going to eat my corn. And big time, because I do this work. I'm the alpha male. I'm the owner of the equipment. I'm the boss. I'm the person that's insured. I'm the one with the licenses. So Chubba Wubba, eat your words. Eat your words. Let's go over here. Laura Segrest. Hey, thanks for stopping by, honey. Thank you very much. Scott Del Fuego was here. LaRue, I called up Jack this morning and last night. In case you're wondering where Jack is, he's not answering the phone at all. So I don't know that he can answer the phone. So I just wanted to let you know, Jack, Jack was very sick, and Jack is probably still very sick. If he gets better, I'll let you know, or when he gets better. Well, let's go back over here. LaRue, let's see. So LaRue is saying hello to everybody. Scott, maybe you could throw up LaRue's link, and maybe some people would be interested in subscribing to her channel. Or Dennis, that'd be nice. Thank you. All right, so let's go back to the guy who doesn't have any licenses or insurances and never had a license. This is, we are getting ready to do some CAD welding here. CADWELDING, and I'll show you how that's done in another video, but I'll show, here we go, right here, that's it. This is CAD welding. So CAD welding is when you put a cable, now this is CAD welding. This is CAD welding dust. It's aluminum oxide and ferrous metal in a blue container. It looks like gunpowder, but it's not. And what we did here as a temporary fix was we used cable clamps to the old ground wire that went into the dirt. But eventually, I would come across this way with the backhoe bucket and dig this out. Altogether 25, oh, what am I showing you? I'm not showing you anything. Eventually, this is the CAD welding material here, this blue cartridge. This is a cable clamp. And this wire is a ground wire existing. Eventually, I was going to be digging a trench that way, however far that way was, 100 feet, 200 feet, 300 feet, like that. Well, let's move on. And that's the foreman. That's the big boss on the job right there. That guy, he was in charge of that crew. That crew that worked on the tower, that's his crew. His 6 men did wherever there was a government job, he was the foreman on the job. He did not bid the jobs. He was just the man who ran the crew that the company sent out. And now the job that we're on now, he ran this crew and me. He was my boss. But the job before this job, he worked at Area 51 with those same men you see in the video for I don't know how long, a couple of months. They worked at Area 51 on the same thing, radar tower, ground wires, and transformer installations. So that guy was beyond brilliant, and he made some stupid amount of money, something like $2,000 a week he made to run that crew. But he was a cool dude. But I mean, and he would tell you what to do, and you would do it. And this is one of his men. There was 5 men and the foreman, that boss. That was a different man. So this is one of the trenches. Now you see a break in the trench here. For whatever reason, there's probably something that crossed here that I couldn't dig, so we tunneled underneath the dirt because I couldn't dig here. And all of that stuff is done with electrical sensing equipment. Okay, let's go back to the videotape here. And then I had this place trenched up, like I said, 2,500 feet of trenching. Okay, and the trenches would bring, this is the back of the computer building. The trenches would bring a wire to the fence every so many feet. All right, so let me explain that to you. How the ground wires work on an Air Force station. PCF man, good day, good evening, everyone. Hello, PCF man. Let me explain to you how the ground wires work, why I was on that job and what we were doing. The ground wires were a bronze, brass, copper, metal alloy. And if there's a lightning strike anywhere near the radar tower, it has to immediately go to ground. So how that works out is if you have a fence and it's 100 feet long, every so many feet, the ground wire that runs parallel to the fence, every so many feet, there's a leg that comes off towards the fence post, maybe every 20 feet, every 30 feet, depends on the operation. If there's a gate, and each wire, each leg that comes off the ground has to be CAD welded. And that's a process that they put a form around the pipe. And they put the wire into the form. So it's like a clamp, but it bolts onto the pipe. They put the wire into the bottom of the clamp, into the bottom of the form, and then they fill it up with this powder. It's just a silver powder. It's aluminum oxide, ferrous metal, and sulfur, I think. I could be wrong about that. But anyway, that stuff, they fill up the form. Then they take a Bernzomatic torch and they put it onto the form. So you have a form with what they call CAD welding dust. They put it on there, and that ignites. And once it ignites, it's like a sparkler. Once the sparkler ignites, the sparkler goes down. Well, once the CAD welding ignites, it immediately goes through the whole clamping system. Immediately, like 3 seconds. And it makes a cloud of smoke about 2 or 3, 4 feet in diameter, and yellow smoke, it blows up into the air. So if there's a fence, they might put one every 30 feet, 20 feet. But if there's a gate, so the gate has to have a cable from the gate to the fence post. And the fence post has to go to the ground wire in the ground. And the other side of the gate post also has to have a wire. So you have to CAD weld both sides of the gate, no matter how wide the gate is, 3 feet or 5 feet or 10 feet. Why, I don't know, but those are the rules. So, and that product, now to clamp two cables together, there's a clamp that goes on the cables. Then there's like a metal can that bolts together over the clamp, and you fill up the can with CAD weld material, and then you hit it with a Bernzomatic torch, and it goes off. They call it going off. And we did, I don't know, 1,000 of those. It was 2,500 feet of trenching, but some places, every time there was a cross strap from a pre-existing ground wire that was 30 or 40 years old, we had a CAD weld to that wire, and then we would put new wire in, but also the old wires had to be CAD welded. Every gate, both sides, the gate to the fence posts, anywhere there was any kind of electrical transformer on the ground, everything had to be CAD welded, everything. So I was there about 100 days. I'll take a look at the comments. Okay, the comments I checked out, nothing new. Okay, so we'll go back to the video. So Chubba Wubba, eat some words and then get back to me on that license thing that you said FAZIO doesn't have any licenses. How's it feel to eat those words, Chubba Wubba? And Don C. And how does it feel to be subservient to Don C just in general? I bet you that's a kick in the oysters, yeah? All right, so that's another trench. That's the bucket that Chubba Wubba made fun of, the 12-inch bucket. Had I not had that bucket for this job, I would have had to buy that bucket. They have a specification for the trench. Do you have a 12-inch bucket? When I bid on the job, I said yes. And they said, okay, you need a 12-inch bucket. If you don't have one, buy one. So I had one because Chubba Wubba, he's not so sure about rules and regs. So Chubba Wubba, I needed a 12-inch bucket to do that job. Chubba Wubba, luckily, I had a 12-inch bucket. Now, what this fella here is doing is filling in a hole where there was some water. Now, up. So moving on. The men are in the trench getting ready to do a CAD weld. I have video of the CAD weld going off, but I don't know if there's any CAD welding. This video I'm doing, I watched it at 5 o'clock this morning. I'm just doing it from memory. Let's go forward a little bit. That's the tower again. Coming up in about a minute or so are going to be the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds are the ones that do the acrobatic with the smoke coming out of the back of the airplane. And the Blue Angels are on the runway getting ready to take off to go to the Miami Air Show. They did an air show here as well. Okay, so that's that cable clamp. This is a galvanized cable clamp. This is galvanized cable. This is a galvanized clamp. This is a copper ground. Then you would put a can around this and fill it up with CAD dust, CAD welding dust. And it would go right around these cables. And then you'd set it off and it would melt. The temperature of the CAD dust is 1800 degrees. It melts into the copper wire, it melts into the steel cable, and it melts into this lug nut, this cable clamp. All of this becomes one piece of bronze. And there's also bronze in the CAD welding. So it basically becomes a piece of bronze. The stuff that sets off, that goes off, is aluminum oxide, sulfur. I think it was sulfur, and the stuff that doesn't go off is bronze. And the cable clamp might be the size of a grapefruit, and it turns into a piece of solid bronze that locks all this stuff up. These are guy wires up to hold a tower, to hold a flagpole, or to hold a fence. These are just what they call guy wires, G-U-Y, guy wires. Chubba Wubba, you know all this stuff. Why don't you come on here and help me narrate this? So those guy wires went to this cable chase, basically, and this tower, this antenna here. Let's see. Let's go on a little bit further. The Blue Angels are coming up. We had, every morning we had the respect for the flag, and that happened early in the morning. And everybody, the whole base, everywhere we stopped and saluted the flag and said the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody on this crew was very patriotic. And this is in front of the captain's house that this takes place. The captain of the base, that's his barracks, their house, whatever you call that. And he would come out and officiate the ceremony. Oh, and by the way, when they do that on a military base and you're supposed to stop working, you stop working. You don't. It's not like in America where people keep working when they're saying the Pledge of Allegiance. It's pretty serious stuff. Okay, so that's another trench to the back of the computer room. These are the circuitry for transformers inside the computer room. I didn't change anything outside the computer room, but I dug the trenches to the computer room, and then we punched holes in the walls where we had to put a cable. Okay, let's go forward a little bit. Okay, that's the flag is getting ready to go up, I think. Oh, it might be done. No, it's not. I have it at full mast. Okay, I don't see it now, but I had it before. That's the morning, so it's got to be going up. It's hard to remember what you did 20 years ago. I know I have it looking through that chain link fence. I have a nice shot of it, actually. This camera didn't have any stabilization in it either. This was, oh, there we go. Okay, so we have, and then they do their ceremony every morning. Okay, now let's move on. I don't know what that was for. That was just, you weren't allowed to go anywhere here without, we all had to have our name tags with us. We didn't have to wear them. Because once you're inside this area, you need to be checked in to this area where the tower and the computer room is. Once you're inside, they know you're cool. So, and this is the Thunderbirds doing acrobatics. Let's check that out. And we got to see, there we go. I think that's called the Thunderbirds. I'm not real sure. And this was the show on 4th of July weekend of 2002, 2003. I'm not real sure what year this was. And they do that acrobatic stuff. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, anything, if a cable snaps, that's the end of that guy. Let's go get another pilot. So there's more of that. I have a whole show with the Blue Angels flying over, but you got to remember their flyover only lasts a second, 2 seconds. Here's the guy again. I like this one where it goes through the tower. I remember that. Certain things you remember. Thank you, LaRue. Okay, that's another person that was worked on the crew. Or maybe, you know what? I forget what people looked like 20 years ago. I think he might have been the computer guy. There's the plane doing more acrobatics. That was really nice to see the show from the base. And then we're getting ready. Now that's the foreman looking for the wires, what side the wires came in. And then he would just tell me where to dig. Now this was a hard part right here. Back up a little bit. See these streets here? I would have to trench across these streets. That was another one of my jobs. So I had to get a compactor. I would trench across the street. I had an 18-inch compactor, and I would trench a 24-inch trench across the street. They'd put the wire in, and then I would compact the dirt down, and I would get it to within 3 inches of the grade, 3 inches of grade, and then we had an asphalt truck come in and put the asphalt. Because I don't do that. I don't even know how to do that. I don't want to know how to do that either. But so I would do. There was lots of this stuff. We had a guy come in, and he did most of the asphalt work in a day, because they were just strips across the roads. But that was another part of my job, to tamp it down after I cut it up. And then more acrobatics. Waiting for the cable, waiting for the CAD material, waiting, and back to work, waiting. That's the old cable. So we dug. I wish you weren't allowed to keep any cable that we dug out. We didn't dig out that much, but we dug a lot of it up. And then whenever we broke one of those, we had to put it back as well. That was part of the job. Now we're in the computer room, baby. I am in charge of the BOCA Naval Air Force Station computer room for about 2 minutes, where I control the vertical and I control the horizontal. These are the banks of computers that go 100 feet deep. There's a 30-inch space between each row of computers, 30 inches between here, and then they go 100 feet deep from the front of the unit to the back of the unit continuously for the whole building. All right? And this is what some of the stuff looks like. I don't know what I'm looking at. And that fella that ran the computer room, the fella in the video before, he knew every wire. He knew every wire. So if there was a malfunction, he knew exactly where to go. That's an amazing thing. There's a lot of wires, and he knew what every single wire in the whole. He made a lot of money too. A lot of money. And he was not military. He was a private contractor. And these are the banks of whatever they do it. I don't know what they do. Lots of that stuff. There was, I think they said, the computer fella said, I don't remember his name, but I might have put it in the video somewhere, but we're not listening to the sound. He said the whole facility would cost about $20 million to build the same facility that's there on that day that I'm doing the video. About 20 million in equipment. I don't know if that's true or not. Could be more, could be less, but this is the kind of stuff that alpha males get to see. This is really cool stuff. Plus, I got to play chess with the computer engineer whenever I had nothing to do. Him and I played chess. We were both about even, so it was fun playing with him. Well, if he could slay me, he didn't. And that's something, another computer thing, and another computer thing, and more computer things, more banks of banks. There were probably several hundred of these 2-foot wide stations. I don't know how many there were. A lot of it, the whole building. I don't know what any of that means. I just it's only just part of the video. And besides that, you're not allowed to take a video of that stuff, so don't tell anybody. So let's go here. Now I am in control. I control the vertical and I control the horizontal. Right now, I control that entire radar screen. I don't know what it means, but I am in control. Watch this. Watch. I'm going to turn it down low. I'm going to turn the lights off, and then I'm going to make the lights bright, and I'm going to sit in front of the computer like I'm in charge, and then you're going to see Michael FAZIO in charge of the BOCA Naval Air Force Station, computer terminal, radar towers, for 250 miles, everything that's in the air. Here we go. Here he is. He's over there. He's operating. He's making moves. Making moves. He's going to get ready to sit down and control all aspects of the digital displays. There we go. There we go. And watch this. Watch when I take over. I make the dots disappear now. Watch. I am in control. I am in control. I am in control. You're going to watch me control that screen and the mouse. Ready? Ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Look at me. I'm laughing because I'm in control. Here we go. Up. I make it go away. Up. Oh, man. I made it go away. I made it go away, and then I pushed the wrong button. I'm going to make it go away now. Ready? Michael FAZIO in control of the Boca Chica Naval Air Force Station radar tower. That's right. Watch this. It's going to go away. Ooh, he's going to make it go away now. I'm in control of the vertical and the horizontal. Oh, there it goes. Watch me make it disappear. Ooh, Twilight Zone. Ooh, Fazio's in control. Ooh, 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 he's even going, ooh, and ah, look, watch, I'm in control. Hey, Chubba, were you ever in control of the entire Naval Air Force Station, Boca Chica Naval Air Force computer terminal? No, Boca, eat some words, Chubba. Eat some words, Don C. Not only... You guys, watch me make it happen. Here we go. On, off. I'm in control. On, off. Ah! On, off. Off. Come on, off. One more time. There you go. There you go. Make it bright as you can. I thought that was funny as all get out. Alpha male facilities. You have to be an alpha male just to get in that building. So let's say thanks. There he is, Michael Thomas Fabio. Famous man, Fabio. Michael Fazio. Yeah, I don't, in 2002, I would have been about 47, I think. 2002? Yeah, about 47. Yeah, 47. Oh, that's the boat. All that alpha male stuff, you get to buy yourself toys. Chubba Wubba! Chubba Wubba! Are you still with me, Chubba Wubba? Are you still with me, Chubba Wubba? Are you still with me? When you do all that work, you get the benefits of buying toys. Look, Chubba Wubba. Look at Fazio's toy. Look where Fazio lived. Look at Fazio's backyard. Chubba Wubba. Look. Learn. Listen. Eat words. Keep Don C. company eating those words. Eat words, baby. Eating those words you spewed out. Look at that toy. Come on. Come on. This is the greatest toy of anybody on the Philippines vlogging genre. Everybody wants one of those. Only a few people would even know how to work it, start it up and run it. Most people would kill themselves if they had to go out and play in the ocean with one of these, but not Captain Michael Thomas Fazio. Oh no, this was just a toy. A very, very, very expensive toy. Believe me when I tell you expensive. $500 a day to put gas in that engine every day. $500 a day. Chubba Wubba. Chubba Wubba. Wherefore art thou now, Chubba Wubba? Up, Don C. This is the barbecue. Don C. This is the barbecue that would, if you and I had a cook-off, this barbecue here, not yet, because it still has gas in it. But when that gas tank was empty, I gutted that barbecue. If I was to have a cook-off with Don C. and he made a hamburger and I made a hamburger and you closed your eyes, my hamburger would beat Don C.'s hamburger every time. Because once that tank got empty, I got that tank with the barbecue. I took the plumbing out of the barbecue and I filled it up with charcoal, baby. Hey, Chubba Wubba, do you have a backyard that looks like this, Chubba Wubba? Oh, Chubba Wubba doesn't have a backyard on a Deepwater Canal in the Florida Keys. Hey, look at that. Look at that. It's a drone. It's a tow-behind drone that the military used for target practice. And this is one that they didn't sink, and I bought it for $300. It's an actual drone that they tow behind a PT boat, and then a plane comes down and scrapes the ocean to see if they could sink the drone. And it's got a breakaway link on the front in here. So once the drone fills up with water, the speed of the boat might be 20 miles an hour. The breakaway link snaps off and the drone falls down into the ocean. Hey, Chubba Wubba, do you have any breakaway drones? No. That's my jacuzzi in my backyard. Hey, Chubba Wubba, do you have a jacuzzi in your backyard? No. Sorry about that. Eat some words. Come back in a little while. I'll have more words for you to eat. Chubba Wubba is a bubba. Chubba Wubba is a bubba that has no skill sets. So this boat here, I don't remember the fellow's name, but he would offer to take me out sailing. And I went sailing with him a few times. Personally, I think sailing is too much work and not much fun. But I did go out on this sailboat, which was about a 55-foot sailboat, a few times. But after that, he only invited me so I could do all the hard work, pulling all the rigging and pulling the ropes and setting the anchor and stuff like that. Because he was getting on up in his years. He was in his late 70s. So he would invite me every time he went out on it. Mike, you want to go sailing? So I did that a couple of times. I took my mom out on here once. They used to come down to the Florida Keys and stay at the house. My mom liked this boat because it was no motor and 5 miles an hour. She did not like my Ocean Racer. She did not like the center console. She did not like things with motors on the water, but she liked that sailboat. All right, I think that's the end, and it is. All right, so anybody got any questions? I hope I entertain you today, because if you're not entertained by watching what alpha males do for a living, this should be an educational video. What does an alpha male do for a living? Just go to Mike Fazio's channel and see what alpha males do for a living. And what kind of licenses do alpha males have? They have licenses to do stuff, real stuff. Not like that guy, Mr. Freedom of Speech, who thinks he's an alpha male because he was going to sacrifice himself to a couple of Lima Bravos for the night. Not like him. Not like him at all. That's not alpha male stuff. You guys look to him like he is an alpha male. That's interesting that you guys look to a guy that was going to turn himself into a Lima Bravo pincushion. I got to wonder what kind of unholy matrimony you guys have. Great show, in my opinion. I love these voiceovers of the old videos. Thanks, Scott. All right, then. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go now. I got don't have anything. I have to make lunch. That's not alpha male stuff, though. I don't have anything alpha male to do today. I'm alpha maleless. Even, unlike that guy who calls himself Mr. Freedom of Speech, he could. You don't even know what he's doing. He might be a human pincushion for Lima Bravos right now, because that's the kind of stuff that he wanted to do. He might do that kind of stuff. Aside from all the half-truths and deceitfulness that he spews all over YouTube about various people. You got to remember something, Mr. Freedom of Speech. There's three things that my viewers are never, ever, ever going to see or hear from me. One of them is, of course, I'm never going to tell my mother that today's the day I'm going to make love to a couple of men. I'm never going to hear that. I'm never going to say it. No one's ever going to hear it, and I never did it. But you did. You did. You did that. You're never going to see me lying to my subscribers. You're never going to see that. Everything I've ever said on here is true, because I didn't have the videos to back it up. It's true, but you made fun. And you, one more thing, you don't believe, you make fun that the earth is, you think the earth is round, Mr. Freedom of Speech, but you can't prove it. You can't prove a word of it. I have more proof that the earth is flat, Mr. Freedom of Speech, than you do of the earth being round. And another thing is, UFOs exist. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of documentaries stating, but you make fun of that because I said I was abducted by aliens and they took me and the car with me and moved me 30 miles back 3 hours later. Where I was, I don't remember. It was in 1977 in White Plains, New York. Look it up. It's a very famous time in history. So you want to deny the fact that there are cultures from other planets and or worlds. You want to believe the earth is round and you have no proof of the earth being round. But you forget about all that other stuff. It was you who, as pretending to be a doctor, who said you were going to make love to not one but two Lima Bravos. You are never, ever, ever going to hear me say that. I'm never going to do it either. But you, I think you were coming out at the time, and God bless you, because a man of your stature should be ready, willing, and able to do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. Don't hide. Don't keep yourself in it. If you need to come out of that closet, Mr. Freedom of Speech, just come on out. There's plenty of you people in this world. There's plenty of people with the same mental acuities that you have. Brilliant, logical, educated people that like to do what you said you were going to do. There's plenty of people like that. I personally don't hang out with any of those people, but I see for a fact you do. That's interesting in and of itself. Mr. Freedom of Speech. He's been blocking people wherever he's a moderator, too, the last couple of days. So he's not Mr. Freedom of Speech. He's not an alpha male, that's for sure. No doubt about that. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Freedom of Speech, I remember you told me you were in the military. Can we get some, is it possible to get some backup on that? Can you show us any kind of military record? I remember you said that. I remember what you told me that you did. And according to one of your good friends, you were never in the military. Why would you say to me you were in the military? Who were you trying to impress? I wouldn't care if somebody was in the military or not. I personally don't look at anybody any differently whether they served the country or not. Anybody who did serve, thank you for your service. But if you didn't serve, you didn't participate in one of the most evil enterprises in all of human history since the beginning of time. Because the United States government, when it gets right down to it, is evil. So your part in the military service could have been a technician or a doctor. But what about all those people that build all that nuclear weapons stuff? And what about all the people that were contaminated from, was it plutonium shells where they used enriched uranium shells, and I'm gonna look this up because you guys out there in the military, I tell you, I'm making a clear-cut statement. The military itself is an arm of evil itself. So what is the name of that place where they use those enriched uranium shells? Let's look that up. Because they knew what they were doing, and they did it as an experiment. And now basically every child that is born with birth defects. So enriched, ENRICHED, enriched URANIUM shells in Iraq, and now they're using them in Ukraine too, by the way. The United Kingdom or the United States just sent airplane loads of enriched uranium shells to Iraq and to Ukraine. Well, the ones in Iraq were used a long time ago. The ones in Ukraine were shipped out about a month ago. So that's evil. They know that it's going to kill millions of people at the end of the day. DU munitions were used on a large scale by the U.S. and Britain in the Gulf War in 1991 and in Iraq. Their use has caused a large increase in the incident rates of some cancers, breast cancers, and lymphoma in areas where it was used. The same depleted uranium munitions that poisoned Iraq now. Birth defects in Iraq. Let's go over here. And they know that these shells do that. This is evil. This is the United States military-industrial complex being controlled by what I call evil, what you call Satan. The World Health Organization released a report in 2003 entitled Potential Impact of Conflict on the Health in Iraq, which suggested that depleted uranium might be related to the reports of increased cancers, birth defects, reproductive health problems, and renal diseases in the Iraq population in 2003. Depleted uranium shells. What birth defects were caused by the war in Iraq? Neurological problems, congenital heart diseases, paralyzed, missing of limbs. Some children came out with extra arms and extra legs. What effect did the plutonium have on Iraq? Yeah, you people, you want to believe that the military is a wonderful thing to take part in, and it probably is a necessary evil. But if all the countries of the world got together and said, let's just stop all this war nonsense, that would be possible as well. But they don't want that. So don't come and say FAZIO and Frank didn't serve in the military. No, we did not. I was completely ready to sign up to be a jet mechanic in the Air Force, or even go in as a jet mechanic and study to be a pilot. I had the background for it. It would take, I'd have to go into the Air Force, and then I could say, look, I want to be a pilot, and then it would take like 12 years to become a jet fighter pilot. But I could have did that. But I would have definitely went in as a jet mechanic, and I would have had a nice job somewhere. But I wasn't afraid to go into the service. I just was opposed to it because I knew that it was evil from the get-go, because of psychic abilities, because people that I were trained by in aviation high school, all my teachers were military. They all said, if you cannot go to Vietnam, because I graduated in 1973, if you can get out of going to the military, these are military pilots, engineers, bombardiers, flight instructors, jet mechanics. These are the people, the cream of the crop of the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, and the Army. Aviation industry said, if you can get out of going into the service where there's a possibility of you going to Vietnam, they said, take that out. You don't want to go there. Especially, they knew these were people that were in Korea and World War II that knew that Vietnam conflict, which wasn't a war, that the Vietnam conflict was a hoax in order for the United States military complex to test out all their war machines and weapons. They knew it was not for the honor of America. There was nothing for us to gain in Vietnam, nothing at all. There's no natural resources that we need in Vietnam. Rubber is a big product of Vietnam, bamboo, but military strategical need to have that part of the world taken over by Americans? No. Not only that, we never accomplished that. So 68,000 Americans lost their lives. 1 million Americans came back wounded or without limbs. And then they gave the country back to the Vietnamese. And that was it. It was just a testing ground for their weapons. So you people that think that the military is the end-all be-all, I don't think it is. That's a difference of opinion. But I am right. And you're right as well, because from your point of view, but I am right about the military in and of itself being an extension of a satanic force that controls this world. I am right about that. I have always been right about that. And it's the same satanic force that is taking over our monetary system right now. And what I wrote in my book and what I made in my videos of the dollar bills is right. My greatest, and it will be the greatest one of the greatest things of all of history, if you were to see what and how many times I said the following, I would be one of the most famous philosophers or psychic phenomena in the world. And I'm not kidding about that. I have stated unequivocally that when the $1 bill is taken out of circulation, and I did this in my book that I published on April 15th of 2010, and I did it in hundreds of videos, when the $1 bill is taken out of circulation in this world, the world as you know it ends. I had no idea that it was going to happen or when. But I said, if it ever comes out of circuit, and it's not far away. Pretty soon we're going to go on to the electronic currency. the world as you know it ends. Cash will be a thing of the past. Every piece of monetary coinage and every type of monetary exchange will be taxed by the government. Now, of course, there'll always be some cash floating around, but when they deem that there's no more cash transfers or usage of cash, when the dollar bill ceases to exist as a currency, the world ends. You can believe what you want, but I'm right. And I was the first person to say that. And I said it since 2010. And I wrote a book about it. So you people think that you're so smart, but you're not really that smart. I'm right. When they take cash off the market, and that's really close to happening, the world as we know it ends. They never said that it would end in destruction or a nuclear holocaust or anything like that. I said the world as we know it ends. Because then they will have full control over our currency. And all you people laugh at my futuristic guesswork, whatever you want to call it, psychic experiences. You all laugh at that, but you're all wrong, and I am right. And I laugh at you because you're not intelligent enough to even understand what I just said. It's really funny how the level of intelligence in America has gone down. Not funny really, but really funny. PCF and MAM. It's an airborne to have an extra part of limbs. Okay, wait a second. It's an inborn to have an extra set of limbs. Yeah, that's what depleted uranium shells did. There's a country, they don't even show it here. They don't even show you there was a particular part of Iraq, I'm pretty sure, that they used these shells exclusively as part of an experiment. They keep saying Iraq, but they don't give you the town itself. Fallujah. Here it is, right here. Fallujah, that's it. So the legacy, Iraq war's legacy of cancer. 2 U.S.-led wars in Iraq have left behind hundreds of tons of depleted uranium munitions, and other toxic waste. Bomb sites like this one in Fallujah remain toxic and continue to cause illnesses. That's from the dust, because the dust is a heavy metal dust. This report contains photographs of a graphic nature. So here we are, contamination by depleted uranium, DU munitions, and other military-related pollution is suspected, this is how evil they are, of causing sharp rises in congenital birth defects, cancer cases, and other illnesses. Now, I'm not going to show you. Oh, I shouldn't have did that. Hold on a minute. I'm not going to show you the birth defect people. I don't even want to watch it myself, actually. And why do we have Al Jazeera making this? Al Jazeera is a foreign newspaper. Why do we have to get our news about what the United States government did from a foreign newspaper? There's no reason for that. All right, let's get that Al Jazeera. Let's get the name of the article there. And then I'll give you the link. And you can watch it if you want. I can't watch this. I get upset. I want to start talking about what I believe should happen to politicians when I watch this kind of stuff. It's sad stuff that we've done this. What did I do here? I got to do it again. Paste that there. And now I need the link. Yeah, I don't see anybody else putting this kind of stuff up on YouTube. Alpha male stuff. The truth about the American war machine. You want to get sick? Watch this video. Watch this. Okay, that's the link. Now I'm going to put that link in my video. And then I'm going to put that link in the video. I'm going to open up that video, the video itself, even though it's unlisted now. I'm going to put that link in at the top of the page. Well, it's going to be the first one underneath the... Now, you can't see that link right now because you have to go here, say sort newest first, then you'll be able to see the link. Whenever you put something into a channel and you can't see the link, go to where it says sort by and click newest first, and then more comments come to the page. It's another thing that a lot of people don't realize. YouTube has changed the way it posts comments. It doesn't show you everything that's posted. I don't know why, but that's what it does. Okay, nothing really important's happened. I'll go here. So I myself am going to go read a little bit more about this article, but I'm not going to show you. This is hard to watch, this stuff. Because the government, they knew that depleted uranium shells would cause birth defects, and they did it anyway. And they specifically targeted Fallujah intensely so that they could do a study, a 100-year study on birth defects from depleted uranium bullets. Well, if they know it's going to kill certain people or maim them or have birth defects, it's not enough for them. They want to know how many, how long it takes. These are sick people that run our military and our government. Well, let's look here. I'm not going to go much. I'm not going to go. They knew it was going to happen. They did it anyway. I don't see any. Oh, no. This is not the kind of stuff you could put. This is the kind of stuff. This is freaking terrible. Extra arms and extra legs on babies. And they knew this would happen. They did it anyway. And you think the people that run America and the world are normal people? I don't think so. I believe there should be a big box like they have on Star Trek. And if you are a politician, every couple of weeks you have to go into that box. And the question is, have you lied and committed any kind of act that would be detrimental to the benefit of mankind? So in other words, you could only do good for mankind. And if you say yes, that you did something detrimental to mankind intentionally, knowing that it would cause harm, the box makes you disappear. I think that's a great idea. I think that's like one of the greatest ideas I ever had. And then, of course, you would need somebody to have the readout, right? Because, well, that guy is definitely lying and push the button, and he disappears. Now, eventually, some people would get tired of pushing the button to make them disappear. That's why you need strong alpha males at the head of that button. But for the people that did that to the people in Fallujah, they all got to go in the box. I'm sorry. The box needs those people. The people need that box as a display of how evil the United States and Great Britain's governments are. Now, Scott brought up a good point yesterday. He wanted me to watch UFOs, a program on UFOs. And I put the link on the screen. Scott put the link on the screen. You people have no idea that the Armed Services Intelligence Committee is having Bill West. Hey, Bill, thanks for stopping by. Boy, oh boy, I heard you get a shout out on that other guy's channel the other day for coming over to my channel. Hey, you know what they say? To hell with them, right? Bill West is here. Yes, that's right. Bill knows. Yeah, Bill took a beating on that other guy's channel the other day because Bill comes over and says hello to Michael FAZIO. Thanks for doing that, Bill. Bill is a stand-up guy. Bill is also the kind of guy that he blurts out truths on the other channel. He blurts out a truth here and there. Not so much that he gets banned, but he does blurt out the truth. He's a truth sayer. He's a real man, in my opinion. So the burn pits that Bill is talking about are just another aspect of evil. They would put so that you could never know how many people died during an attack. They would incinerate them. And that's what I think should happen to the politicians, the generals, the admirals, the Congress, the Senate, and especially the president, when they do stuff like that, knowing that children and for generations to come are going to be born with all those birth defects. And for what reason? So that Big Pharma can sell them drugs to fix the birth defects. It's a scam, I tell you. It's a giant scam. That, when I say the government, when I say the United States government is an extension of Satan, I don't say that lightly. It's true. You can't see it. You can't feel it. You don't see it because you can't feel it. But think about it. Why would you use depleted uranium billets? Knowing that it happened in Fallujah, Great Britain just sent over 100 tons of depleted uranium bullets to the Ukraine. 100 tons of bullets. I think it was 100 tons of depleted uranium bullets so that they could destroy Russian tanks. You have no idea how they even work because you people are not so smart. Or why they used them because you people are not so smart. I could explain it to you, but would you remember? Would you believe me? Because you people are not so smart. Does anybody want to describe why they use depleted uranium bullets? You don't know, right? Just throw it up on the board. Why do they use them? Not that they're harmful. Why they use them. There's a reason they use them. I'll wait. What happened with my glasses? Yeah. Oh yeah, Club Fellas. Club Fellas, you're one of those. You're one of those Thailand mongers. I could afford a new pair of glasses, Club Fella, but these glasses work just fine for me. So you got blocked, and you don't come back. So you got your 10 seconds of fame. I got to read the comment though. You want to compare knowledge, Club Fellas? You want to compare? You want to see who's smarter? We could have a brain off with me and you. Winner take all. In general knowledge, construction, running heavy equipment, cranes, barges, tugboats, pile drivers, backhoes, trenching machines, drill rigs, skill saws, table saws, band saws, drill presses. You want to compete with me, and I'll wear these glasses and I will kick you to the curb, Club Fellas. So because you're friends with every lowlife on YouTube, doesn't give you the power to come to my channel and talk about my glasses. These glasses, I've had these for a year like this. Everybody that talks about my glasses gets blocked. These are good glasses. They work for me. Club Fellas, and just to show you what a fool you are, look, Club Fellas, let me show you a little secret. Here is another pair, but here is a new pair, unbroken, with extra support. But here is a brand new pair in the plastic, unbroken, new glasses, just to show you how foolish you are. Basically, you're just 5 steps less intelligent than Chubba Wubba. See that? Club Phil, that's brand new. Those are $25. They're number 5 readers, but that's one pair, right? That's one pair of readers. But then here is another pair for short and long distances, okay? Here's another new pair with that have a brown shade on them, like like sunblock. This is a UV sunblock, brand new. Right, let's show you, brand new UV sunblock lenses. Brand new. That's 3 pairs new so far, right? But that's 5 pairs with those over there. But then there's more. Oh, we have another pair down here. Another brand new pair right here. Another brand new pair. Brand new. So it makes you look kind of stupid, right, Club Phyllis? But that's not hard to do. It's not so hard to trip over that bar, because that's about as low as it gets. That you would say something so stupid after watching my videos, knowing that I can afford new glasses. So actually that makes you dumber than you are, because you should know better by now that I have these glasses on hand. You should, and the fact that you don't know better is because you have such a low IQ. Your IQ, I think Chubba Wubba makes you look like I think you make Chubba Wubba look like smart, like he's a smart man. And we know that Chubba Wubba is not only not smart, but he's less smart than Don C. So, Club Fellas, what did you prove just now? What did you prove? Instead of throwing a super chat on the board and saying, hey, great show, Michael Fazio, you're an alpha male. Instead of doing that, you came on and you got yourself blocked for life. And then I just proved you wrong, showing, and then you have to be embarrassed that you're dumber than Chubba Wubba. And Chubba Wubba's dumber than Don C. That puts you right at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to brains. So what did you prove? Let me go over here. Let me make sure that you're gone for all time, Club Fellas. I think you're a monger on top of everything else. Mongers are really not allowed on my page, actually. I have an aversion to mongers. Now he's blocked. Okay, thanks, Dennis. Okay, so what did you prove? You know, you people that think that you're going to troll me, you're not. You people that think I care, not that you're trolling me, because that I do care about, but if you people think I care whether you come to my channel, I don't. I don't care. I never cared, and I'm never going to care. The fact that I just proved Club Phyllis to be a complete moron, I mean, you know, Club Phyllis, I've been doing this all day to Don C. and Trouble Wubba. They have to understand. And also, Mr. Freedom of Speech, because I've proven him to be one of the most outrageous liars on YouTube. There's no doubt about that. He calls other people wingnuts. I got to tell you, the people that he calls wingnuts have never made a blatant public statement that they were going to make love to two ladyboys. So what do you think, to my audience right now, which is worse? Telling the world that Mr. Freedom of Speech spoke these words? Mr. Freedom of Speech said that tonight, years ago, tonight, I'm going to make a date. I have a date with two ladyboys, Lima Bravos. And I'm going to experience what it's like to make love to two Lima Bravos. That's what Mr. Freedom of Speech said. What is worse? Me having glasses that are very strong structurally, or me telling you that I believe the earth is flat, or I could go home and tell my mother, if my mother was alive, I could go home and tell her that I believe the earth is flat. And her and I would have a conversation, and my mother was brilliant. My mother graduated cum laude from her school. Okay, my mother. So you could explain something to my mother, and she would understand it from a technical or scientific point of view. But what would you prefer, Club Phyllis? Would you prefer to be known as the person that believes the earth is flat and there's more proof showing that the earth is flat than round, and be ridiculed for believing that the earth is flat? Club Phyllis, this is a question for you, because I know you have a backup troll channel. Well, you should, because you're a manga. Every manga has 2 or 3 channels. So what would be better, being known as the guy who believes in the flat earth, or being known as Mr. Freedom of Speech, who said he was going to make love to 2 Lima Bravos? Which is worse? I mean, does somebody have an opinion on this? What would you rather be? The guy who said the earth is flat, or the guy who had to go home and tell his mother he just came back from making love to 2 Lima Bravos? Which is worse? The guy who has a pair of glasses that are structurally sound, or a guy that says he's going to make love to 2 Lima Bravos? Which is worse? And what did that benefit you? What does it benefit anybody to come to my channel and troll me? You just get blocked. You're not, you got that guy Mike, Mix. I prefer he never comes back to my channel, ever, again. I would prefer that, because he goes on the manga channels and praises everybody for their sickness. I would prefer he doesn't come back. In fact, today I was thinking about, if he came on, I was thinking seriously of blocking him permanently. Yeah, I blocked over 100 of his channels already. He's got 100 troll channels. So, but what is worse? You are worse. You're a manga. That's got to be right there with Lima Bravo lovers, that on the same level. That's my opinion. So you come on my channel, you get blocked for saying, nobody gets away with that. I don't take it twice, and you don't get unblocked. That's the problem with me blocking you. You don't get unblocked. I've seen you around. I know exactly who you are. I know what your mentality is. It's a low-class, low-brow mentality. You're not an intelligent person. If you were, you wouldn't make fun of my glasses. So, did you ever own an Ocean Racer, Club Phyllis? Did you ever own a $1.3 million house in the Florida Keys? Did you ever own a $185,000 Cat 428 Bravo backhoe with an extender hoe, a set of forks, and vertical stabilators? Did you ever own a trenching machine? Did you ever own a crane and barge with a pile driver on it? No, the answer is no. You've never owned anything. The only thing you own is some stupid name named Club Phyllis that has no meaning at all. Even if you owned a bar and made $1,000 a day, doesn't impress me at all. Because what do you do with that money? Do you have a boat? Do you have a jet ski? Do you have a sports car? Do you have $1 million house? No, you probably just put the money in the bank. Look at the money I have in the bank, like the freedom of speech guy. Makes a lot of money and gives it to every worthless blogger on YouTube because he needs adoration. I don't need any of that. I can wear glasses that look like crap, but they work for me. You people out there that think you're going to get under my skin with trolling, I'm just going to block you. It's not problematic for me. Dennis has no problem with it. Scott has no problem with it. None of my friends have any trouble blocking all of you people. I have fun with you people. Now I get to show you that you're dumber than Chubba Wubba. Chubba Wubba's dumber than Don C. That makes you dumber than Don C twice removed. I'll go back to the comments. Now he's blocked, says Dennis. Thank you very much. Now he's blocked. He's properly blocked. Thanks, Dennis. All right, then. I don't know that there's much else, but the depleted uranium bullets, knowing what it did in the article that I just posted, knowing what it did to children, men and women and children, birth defects, millions. It says that 40 out of 100,000 people got birth. It's not 40 out of 100,000. It's 40 out of 100 or more. In Fallujah, they're averaging out 40 out of 100,000 people in Iraq. But in Fallujah, we could look it up. Let's look it up. In Fallujah, percentage of birth defects. Let's look this up. Club Phyllis. Club Phyllis. Man, imagine being dumber than Chubba Wubba. And then twice removed from Don C. Imagine being twice as dumb as Don C. That would be... I don't want to go there. I don't want to look at that. Imagine that. Let's see. Where is the name of that town? Fallujah. Right here. We're going to Google birth defects. BIRTHD. Fallujah. And then we're going to add the words per, P-E-R, per capita. It's probably close to 50%. It says 14.7% of all babies born in Fallujah are more than 14 times the birth rate. More than 14 times the birth rate in affected areas of Japan. See, it's not giving you a reason, an answer. .7% of all babies born in Fallujah, more than 14 times the rate of affected areas of Japan. But see, it's so obscure, the answer. That they're talking about the atomic bomb, so that was 1%. That's all lies. That's all lies. Let's go here. Deformities and deaths in Fallujah. So they're saying 14.7% of the population. Was reported in 107 in September of 2009. 170 children were born in Fallujah. So 170 children were born. Within 7 days, 24% had died. So 170 children, 10% of all children would be 17. So it's 14% of the children had died within a week of birth, with the majority of the children displaying deformities. So it's 14% of the whole population is just dying outright within a week after birth. But they average it out over the course of the whole country, and then it just comes down to a small percentage. If they averaged it out over the course of the world, it would be less than a percentage. So, and that's how stupid you people are to believe the statistics about birth defects from depleted uranium bullets, because you don't read the backstory of depleted uranium. So 14.7% of all the children born in Fallujah die within a week. But hundreds others have birth defects. Thousands of others. They didn't put that in there. They'll put it in another part of the article. But if they were to put the truth in there, it would be more than 50%. That's what I remember. More, maybe like 62% of all children born in Fallujah had serious birth defects. All 60%. So why would you have children? And who makes money? Big Pharma, trying to keep the children alive, because they put it in your head that you have to keep these children alive. It's God's wish. It's not God's wish. It's God's wish that they stop making depleted uranium bullets to kill the children. That's God's wish, if there was a God. You people are so stupid, it's unbelievable. It's hard to believe that you people can be that stupid and still get your shoes on in the morning. It reminds me of that movie, Superman, where Lex Luthor said to his flunky, oh, wait a second, what's going on here? Lex Luthor said to the guy who worked for him, the guy, I don't remember the guy's name. Lex Luthor said they were in some kind of tunnel. And Lex Luthor said to his flunky, "It's amazing that your brain generates enough energy to move your feet." That's true. That's how stupid I look at you people. That's how stupid I think you are. I'm not even being facetious. I really believe you're that stupid. I'm going to have to put this, well, you know what, I'm going to have to, I'm going to put this in the comments of my video with the link. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to shut that off. Then I'm going to go back and cut out the link. And then I'm going to post the name of the article, and then I'll post the link. And you guys can open up that link to find out that 50% of all the people born in Fallujah, if you do just a little bit of research into that article, 62% are born with birth defects. Maybe more now. And they cover it up. And then they send doctors and nurses to Fallujah to try to keep the babies alive with their experimental medicine. Big Pharma. earning money one birth defect at a time, is what that boils down to. And you don't think the United States government is evil in and of itself? It is. It certainly is. Let's go back to the comments. Thank you, Dennis. Make a comment like a troll. Be prepared to be blocked like a troll. That's right. That's exactly right. Now, I didn't mind spending 2 or 3 minutes with Club Phyllis because, I mean, he's dumber than Chubba Wubba. He needs the guidance through life. He's dumber than Chubba Wubba, and Chubba Wubba's dumber than Don C. They need help. I'm here to help, like the government. I'm here to help. You guys are dumber than well poops. All right, that's it for me. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. I'll release that video of the Boca Chica Naval Air Force Station. I don't think I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow morning. I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to give you guys a few days to watch today's live stream, yesterday's live stream, and maybe one video that I'm going to post. But thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Scott, Dennis, LaRue, Club Phyllis, especially you, because we schooled you. And then whoever else stopped by. Not a lot of people stopped by today. You guys are learning. Either you got something positive to say, or you just clam up and watch, because nobody's ever going to prove me wrong, ever. If I say I did something, if I say I had a license to do something, if I say I accomplished something, you should by now understand it's been done and it's truthful. If you can't get that through your head, you have blockage. Okay, that's it. We're done. Upping Permy from Michael Fazio and Daisy May in the Philippines, baby. Bye-bye for now. That's right. Bye-bye, Dennis. Wow, 17 people are watching? Oh, I maybe I should go on. I tell you what, if I could get 20 thumbs up, I'll stay on for another hour and talk about bloggers, different bloggers. Okay? I think I should give you that option. LOL. I don't pay attention to those statistics. If I get 20 thumbs up, 7 thumbs up, I'll stay on for another hour and I'll talk about bloggers. I'll even talk about lawsuits and cases and things like that, and collecting money on YouTube. I'll talk about that. I need 6 quick thumbs up. 18 watching. You guys give me, how many more thumbs up? I need 6 more thumbs up. I'll talk about people. I'll tell you things about people that you would not even believe. Come on, 6 more thumbs up. You people are dumb enough to do, nice enough to do that. I'll give you a minute. I'm not going to get it. I don't see it happening. You'll just have to suffer. Thanks, PCF. Yeah. Hey, and Rubalicious and Flywoods. I left comments on your show yesterday. I sent you a mail. As soon as my comments appeared on your page, they got deleted. I don't know who's doing it. I don't really care. I don't really watch much female bloggers on YouTube, but I just want you to know somebody's blocking everything I put on your show. I was going to give you a shout out, which I don't mind, but I got blocked. Uh-oh. What happened to that comment? Now I just saw a comment. from J. Dow, but I don't see it now. It disappeared, J. Dow. See, I knew Club Phyllis had a second troll account because he said that I look like a fool. Yeah, but I'm about 100 times smarter than you, though, right? So don't worry about my glasses. J. Dow never showed that. I saw the name J. Dow. Okay, I don't know why that disappeared. He probably removed the comment. What? Maybe not. J. Dow. Ah, here it is. Walking. Oh, this is from a long time ago. Walking around the base of the high-powered microwave radar tower doesn't sound like a good idea. Well, no. The base of the tower. Oh, you're talking about being on the ground. No, 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 no. Dude, the tower was shut down. There was no power going to the radar. We could have walked around on the ground. The power was shut down to the tower because we were working with high voltage cables and ground wires. You could not. The power was shut down to the tower. The tower power was gone, off. But we had men up in the tower. But at the base of the tower, you could walk around if the tower was in play. It would be no problem. I mean, the captain of the Air Force, the base was 150 feet away from the tower on the ground. Only you get cooked if you're level with the tower and within a certain amount of hundreds of feet. I don't know what it is, but on the ground, it's just going out that way. It's going out 85 feet high above everything. And after a few hundred feet, you can walk right in front of the rays. Not at the tower, though. I got 2 thumbs up. That's all I got. Sorry about that. You guys are going to have to wait. You know what I could talk about? I could tell you that we have had none, not a drop, not even 1 ounce of water has come out of anybody's pipe here at this end of Dolho, where I live. No water at all. 3 days. Today will be day 3. So if you put the water on and you have a reservoir or a bucket, no water comes out of the pipes at all. Nothing. Zero. Not even in the morning at 1 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock. Nothing comes out of the pipes. No water come out of the pipes since the day before yesterday. Imagine that. And then there'll probably be water within the next 3 days. I have water saved, so it doesn't matter. But no water came out. No water. Imagine if you had children. Imagine if you had to do clothes to go to school. Imagine all of that. Can't be done. There's no water coming out of the pipes in Dolho. None at all. Zero. Nothing. Zero. Not even a drop. I've had the water on since 5 o'clock this morning. And unless it went on at 10 o'clock this morning, after 5 hours of nothing, nothing came out. I could check, but I really don't care. I don't think it's going to come on today. I just have that feeling, that no water feeling again. You get that feeling living here in the Philippines. Imagine no water. I came from the most expensive neighborhood in Florida, one of them. with, we had 100 pounds of water pressure in front of my house at all times, 100 psi. Here, you could put your finger over the water pipe when it's running hard. You could put your finger over the water pipe and stop it. In Florida, you couldn't stop the water with your finger. New York had 120 psi of water when I left New York. 120 pounds of water pressure came out of the pipes in New York City. 100 in Florida, and nothing here. So, maybe a pound of pressure. That's it. That's all you're ever going to get, though. All right. Let's see. Do I have any more complaints about the Philippines? Not really. I think I complained about the shoes last week. Got that one under the belt. I complained about the restaurant review. I got that one under the belt. Oh, I could. Yeah, you know what? I could complain about that. I had a fella that I sent money to. Well, maybe he sent me a mail. He said he'd have the parts on Saturday. No. Nope. Not yet. I didn't expect him to get the parts on Saturday anyway. I had no trust in him at all. I believe he's going to get the parts, or I believe he's going to try. And he wanted half the money up front, which I didn't want to do, but I did it. It's really bad to give people money up front in the Philippines. Really bad habit. You'll be very unpleasantly surprised. But he did own the business that I called up. So he was the personal owner of the business. And it is a big business. So I think if he doesn't get the right parts, he'll give me back my money. But I got to go there to get the money. See, because I owe him a lot of money for parts. So if he got the right parts, then he gets the rest of the money. If he got the wrong parts, I'll have to ask him for my money back. And I think he'll give it back to me. But not a good idea to pay people up front. Last week, Thursday to be more specific, when I got out of court, I went to pick up parts that I bought before my operation in April. I went to a store in Tagbilaran, the biggest automotive store possible, the best automotive store possible. I gave the woman the part. I don't have it with me. I gave her the part. We mic'd it up. We used the vernier caliper and measured it. We took the measurements. We wrote them down on a piece of paper. She took a picture. She said to me, give me 1,000 pesos for 4 pieces. I said, no, I'm not going to do that, because last time you got parts from me, you gave me the wrong parts. And then when I gave them back to you, you gave me credit. Well, we don't have cash refunds. I'm going, well, you ordered the wrong parts. I didn't order the wrong parts. I'm not doing it again. So I went to the city, and I went to the counter, and sure enough, they put the wrong parts on the counter. So I waited 7 weeks, 8 weeks for them to tell me that they had the parts in. And when I went there, they were the wrong parts. The Philippines, they don't use computers. Lord knows she took the measurements down. Maybe she didn't pass them on. Maybe the person that she ordered the parts from said, well, these pieces are almost the same size, but not quite the same size. And maybe these pieces will fit into that mechanism because they're smaller than the original pieces. when you're putting motors together, you need the part that came out of the motor to be replaced. So now this is months I'm waiting for parts. I might have to go to America to get parts. Now this fella has a detailed sketch and micrometer measurements, vernier caliper measurements of everything I want. Yes, we can get those parts, Michael. So I sent him a deposit, and whether or not he gets the parts, I'll know when he calls me up. He said, we'll have those parts Saturday afternoon. Well, and I'll call you as soon as they come in. I don't have a call, and I don't have an email, and he has the money. So he didn't. Another person in the Philippines that didn't do what they promised. Just get used to it. It's called Welcome to the Philippines. All right, I'm going to go back, and I got to get out of here. I hear somebody that I want to go talk to. All right, I don't see any new comments. I don't see 20 thumbs up. You people are really stingy, boy. Okay, I'm Big Permy. Call it a day. Good night, Dennis. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now. And of course, I'm Big Permy means take care always. Even the ones that are too dumb to understand what I just said. See you, Michael. Bye-bye, Dennis. Scott's sleeping already. Bye, LaRue. Uh-oh. There we go. I'm Big Permy.